Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this is your more than first time here, welcome back. Hey, this is the spot where we talk about discipline. We talk about doing the things that you said that you would do in order to get the results that you want in every single domain of your life, in body and being and balance and in business. But I usually relate it back to some sort of life lesson. And I get life lessons pretty much everywhere that I look because I've trained my brain to actually find them in each one. And I've got a really powerful one that recently that I want to share with you guys that had to do with my first off-roading experience. So about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, I got this giant truck. I got this Ford Raptor that's got a 4-inch lift kit on it, and it's like really cool. I've never had a truck before. I'd always been like a fast car guy, and I ended up wanting to get a truck, and now that I've got one, it's awesome, but I recognize that this thing's super capable off-road, and I'd just never done anything with it. And so my family and I were up in Tahoe, and I looked up 4-wheel drive trails to go on, and we found one that went pretty much from South Shore of Lake Tahoe all the way up to North Shore. Maybe like halfway, but it was like this rocky terrain and there was this like trail carved out of it, and it was an awesome experience. I didn't get any video of the outside of it because I didn't bring cameras and things like that, but my wife took some video from inside of the truck just to see kind of like what it was like bouncing around inside of that thing, and the kids were having a great time when we were doing this. But the trail, it's pretty narrow in some spots, and Raptor is pretty wide. That's why they've got those 3 lights in the front, because technically it's a commercial vehicle when it's over like 84 inches wide, and I think a Raptor's 88 inches wide. So I'm driving up this path, and there's like a cliff on one side and all of this brush on the other side, like a bunch of bushes and things. And my wife's like, dude, you need to move over a little bit, otherwise we're gonna run into these bushes. And I'm going like, you're the co-pilot, I'm the pilot, I got this. Don't worry about it. Plus, I know that we're going to fall over the cliff if I go any further to the left. And so I drive past this thing, and I can hear this bush digging in and scratching the right side, the passenger side of my truck, which has this really cool matte black paint finish on it. And it's like got really like sounding like they're deep scratches, but we keep on going for a little bit until we can stop and get out, and we all go out and look at the truck. So me, my wife, my daughter, and my son, and all of us are like, man, that thing's damn, like it was effed up. And we look at it, and my first inclination was I wanted to be pissed off about it. Because it's a relatively new truck, it's a nice truck, and like anytime you wreck something on your own, you're usually like, this sucks, like I'm pissed off about this. But then I recognized that it really wasn't that big of a deal. It's just gonna be a couple $100 worth of paint work, body work, I don't know, whatever it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a couple $100, maybe a few thousand, I don't know, to fix this thing in exchange for what was a really awesome experience. And we can pay for it, it's not that big of a deal. But I wanted to make it a big deal. And I recognized in that moment, from a life lesson standpoint, that me and just about everybody I know tends to make too big a deal about setbacks that they experience on either a daily basis, weekly, monthly, like however often they get this setback that ultimately has them turn around when it doesn't need to. You've probably felt this or experienced this someplace where it felt like something was going to be going faster, maybe in business, and it didn't go fast enough, or you had an ad not work, or you made the wrong contract with the client and lost some money and you thought, that's it, I'm out. And you turn around and go back because the size of the problem in front of you looked like it was massive. And it did. There's nothing to say that, oh, we'd minimize it. It was like, it looked like a massive problem. Just like the scratches in my truck could have looked like a massive problem. But they ended up just being a little problem once I gained some perspective on it. And perspective is really the deal, because no matter where you're trying to make progress, it's going to be hard. Like all of the way that modern marketing has taught us how to get this cool thing without that thing that you don't want. So like Men's Health has get 6-pack abs while still eating pizza all the time. I can tell you that that does not work categorically. But in any event, you find yourself in this spot where if you're trying to get something that you don't have right now, it's gonna be difficult. And there are gonna be times where it's not gonna work like you want it to work, and you're gonna look at these as massive things that there's no way that you can actually push through and go forward and still get the thing that you want. So I wanna share with you a simple strategy that I learned a couple years ago from a mentor of mine about how to gain perspective on your perception of the problems that you're facing as you try to progress in every area of your life. It's called the 10-10-10 rule. I don't know if you've heard about this before, and I don't know how popular it is, but I hadn't heard it when it was told to me, so maybe you haven't heard it either. So the 10-10 rule, 10-10-10, there are 3 10s, is a very simple thing. You have an event that happens. Let's say that it is a weigh-in and you're trying to lose weight and you haven't lost the weight that you want to lose. Or let's say that it's you have a bad contract with a client and you owe some money. Let's say that it's a fight with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, wife, husband, kid, whoever. How are you going to feel about it in 10 minutes? Chances are you're going to feel pretty much the same. How are you going to feel about it in 10 days? With that space on it, maybe you're going to feel a little bit better. Like the pain of the event is actually going to be muted a little bit. And then the ultimate question, how are you going to feel about it in 10 months? And chances are you're not even going to remember the event occurred in 10 months. That perspective helps you understand the actual size and scope of the problem that you're facing. If you do find yourself where in 10 months, there's still going to be a massive problem when you do this little bit of self-discovery on it, then yes, you can make it a big deal. But if after 10 days, it's not really going to be that much of a problem, just let it go. Because letting it go, the past, is ultimately what lets you move forward.